Hi, welcome back to another episode of Organic City Homesteader. So, giving a little recap from the last time we talked about herbs, let you know how our herbs are doing. Our rosemary is coming along. What's really growing well is our coriander, cilantro is growing really well. We've got two of those plants, and this tricolored sage is also growing pretty well. This is our lemongrass, looking nice and healthy. This is 2 weeks? 2 weeks. And then our lemon balm, which is next, is looking pretty good as well. Our oregano, our winter savoy, our spearmint. The lavender's coming back. It had a little shock. Lavender is coming back. You can see some of the flowers on there. It'll take a minute though. And then we have our chocolate mint right here. Now, what we've done since the last time that we had an episode is we have planted some trees. So we've planted a couple of plum trees here and the cherry trees. We put them in the back, and the reason why we put them in the back and they're planted close is to control the size. We don't want 20-foot trees, 25-foot trees. You want them just tall enough where we can get a step stool and pick the food. Because we're not doing this for looks. We're doing this for food. And because we live right at the foothills of the mountains, we have not bears. I haven't seen bears. I've seen a bear, lots of coyotes, a lot of rabbits, a million squirrels, raccoons, God knows what else. And unfortunately, they figured that we have now planted another nectarine tree, and they had a good time with our nectarines. But we know what to do is get some neem and plant neem around it, and they won't bother it so much. Neem is a pest control and an animal control. And so we have here a little update on our spinach. We're having a little pest problem, but again, neem and peppermint will take care of that. These, if you can recall, these are our purple cabbage and our Swiss chard that has grown beautifully in 2 weeks. You can see those rows. How nice they are. And then we have our chilies that are growing just fine, and our onions. We've got a chili there in the pot. And we're going to put down, this time, we've got some watermelon, and look at our tomatoes back there looking good. Now, just to give you an update, we are now making raised beds. And so Tony and I have been working on these and getting some good wood. Redwood is a good wood to use because it goes great with the environment. And in order to do that, if you can recall, if you've been with us for a couple of weeks, we had some collard green trees. What we had to do is remove the collard green trees to make the bed. But guess what? Collard green trees, you can take them out and put them back in, and they'll finish growing. So here are the collard green trees. And as soon as we finish the bed today, we will put them back. As you can see, these are the collards. There's a lot of them. There will be more because once we put them in the ground, again, they'll shoot out everywhere, and we didn't want them wild and hanging over the beds like they were doing. Now, Tony, we've got some other things. We've got some blueberries and a few other things that we're going to be planting. And we'll be talking about that, the bok choy here, as we go, planting our food, organic food, non-GMO. But let's talk about the beds. So we had to dig these beds out, and I'm going to let Tony give you a little bit of info on that because that's his thing, his engineering mind here. So tell us about the beds.
Alright guys, basically we're putting down some 4x6s. We couldn't find 4x6s in redwood, so we had to use Douglas fir. And these are heavy duty, they're real heavy. You want something that's not going to move once you put your soil in there. Soil is heavy, has a tendency to expand, and that's why you want something heavy. On the inside of the Douglas fir, we put the redwood. Redwood is good, as Jazz said, it doesn't rot. It's good with moisture and stuff. So this is the Douglas fir 4x6s, like I said, heavy duty, and inside the redwood, lining the whole inside of the bed from beginning all the way to the end. So I'm just putting on some environmentally friendly, it's a wood protectant. Out here the wood is exposed to the elements and you're going to have cracking and everything, so that's the reason that I'm just throwing on a little bit of protection on the part that's going to be exposed to the sun and the elements, direct contact with like moisture and stuff, before I put this down and then finish cutting and measuring. So that's what we're working on now. We'll give you an update on this in just a second.
All right.